so much for coming back to my channel, Agnes Dora by Ashley Miller. If you are watching this, you are probably considering becoming an Agnes Dora rep. And I've been a rep now for 3 months, so now that I have a little bit of experience under my belt, there are a few things that I wish I had known. I have 10 things actually that I wish I had known before I became a rep, and I wanted to share them all with you, and I hope that you find them helpful. So the first thing that I feel like is the absolute most important thing for you to know before you become an Agnes Dora rep is the importance of your referring rep. I really lucked out here. I knew that it was important for my referring rep to be important, somebody that I could jive with, somebody who offered really fantastic training, but I didn't fully appreciate the importance of who their referring rep was and who their referring rep was. And it has just so turned out that I ended up with the most amazing support team and the best training that is available in the company. So I've really seen the impact that that's had on my business, and I really want to encourage you to make that a priority while you're doing this research. The second thing that I wish I had known was, that I wish I had researched was the nature of retail. This is a retail business, so you're gonna buy it wholesale, you're gonna sell it at retail. And yes, it's direct sales, so that makes it a little bit different than a traditional brick and mortar retail company or business. But still, the same principles that apply to retail are going to apply to your business, and it will serve you well to be aware of some of those principles. So a book that I read that I think was really amazing was, I can't remember who wrote it, but if you just look on Amazon, it's called Why She Buys. And that's kind of like the psychology behind a customer who's shopping and how you can serve them best by meeting their needs. The third thing that I wish I had known was the importance of taking care of yourself. This business is intense, especially the first 90 days. You're going to have a little bit less sleep than maybe what you're accustomed to, although if you're a mom, you're probably used to running on very little sleep, and that's a good thing to be used to that. But actually in my second month, I got sick 3 different times with sinus infections and common colds and things like that. And it was because I was not taking care of myself. I was working really hard. I wasn't eating enough, I wasn't sleeping enough, and I was just go. So when I started making that a priority, my immune system came back up, and I've been fine ever since. And so I would say have protein shakes available, because sometimes it's going to be hard to cut out time for you to actually sit down and eat a meal, especially in the earlier part of the day. And I have 5 kids, so maybe that is an additional limitation on how much time I have for these things, but a high quality protein shake and blending it with greens and vegetables and stuff like that has really made a difference in my ability to continue thriving on very little sleep and high intensity. The fourth thing that I wish I had known, and this is actually a really good thing, I wish that I had known how this business was going to affect me personally. If you've watched any of my videos before, you know that I went through a really long, not really long, but it felt like a lifetime. It was about 18 months of really intense anxiety and depression after the birth of my 5th child. And I think I'll do a video about that sometime, but I don't want to go into too much detail about it on this video, other than to say that this business has kind of given me myself back, and I've had so many people come up to me, and people who have known me for a really long time, people who know what I went through, and tell me that I'm like an entirely different person in a good way, and that they're so happy to see me come out of my shell and just see me have my fire back. I've always been a very type A, driven, ambitious person, and when I went through that difficult time, I lost that part of myself, and I've got it back, and it feels amazing. And if I had just known that this business was going to provide that for me, I would have signed up way sooner. So the 5th thing that I wish I had known was how to deal with negativity, and I have not had any negativity as far as the clothing. I've never had anybody say anything bad about the quality, the styles, or the prints. Any negativity that I've seen is usually surrounding people who believe that any direct sales company is a pyramid scheme. And I handle that in two ways. I either ignore it because I just don't have time in my day to handle every single one of those conversations, or if I feel like I can kind of quickly and efficiently handle that conversation, I will give it a set period of time. I can't go back and forth all day long with somebody who is just dead set that all direct sales companies are pyramid schemes. So, I will engage in that conversation and I will give it a set period of time, and then it's just got to be a bless and release kind of thing. The sixth thing that I wish I had known to research before I got my inventory was researching how to efficiently use social media platforms. So researching things like the Instagram and Facebook algorithms. Those things are kind of always evolving and always changing, so you're never going to have a complete grasp on those, but there are definitely ways to efficiently use social media to benefit your business, and then there are other ways that are just, you're going to be turning your wheels and not really getting anywhere. So researching those things, and there are lots of YouTube videos on that. There's lots of blog posts on that. You can even ask your referring rep for information on that. The seventh thing that I wish I had known is that I don't need so many hangers. When I was purchasing my materials in the beginning, I was actually in the LuLaRoe queue, and LuLaRoe ladies have to carry a very, very large inventory, just because of the nature of all the different prints and that they don't know what exactly they're getting when they order inventory. So I have hundreds and hundreds of hangers that are not being utilized, and they're just sitting in a box in my boutique. Agnes and Dora reps don't need to carry such a huge inventory, and also because we don't have a bajillion different prints, we don't need to hang every single one. So for like this Oakley, I can hang one and then keep the rest in like a box in the packages, and when I'm selling this, I can say, okay, here's this Oakley, here's this print, here's how it fits, and I have it in these sizes. So like specifically when you're selling on Facebook Live or Periscope, you don't need to hang and show every single individual piece in your inventory, so you just don't need that many hangers. I spent way more money on hangers than I needed to. And that leads me into number 8, is like the overall number of supplies that I thought I was going to need, I really didn't need. I spent way more money on supplies than what I've actually ended up needing. A lot of it just sits completely unused. So I would say when you are ordering supplies, go with your absolute bare minimum. And Amazon Prime is a wonderful thing. So if there's something that you realize you really want or need, you can usually have it within 48 hours. Number 9 is again a supplies thing. I have a boutique I have a room in my house that I can use for my boutique, but it's not a very large room. So I purchased double racks. It's 2 racks that are parallel to each other. And I thought that was going to be a space saver, but it's actually just ended up being a huge hassle because they become very easily unbalanced. And so I've had my racks tip over on me, which is a really big pain when you are getting ready to go on a live sale and you're already crunched for time. And also, if you plan on doing any vendor events, it's really difficult to set up double racks in a way that your customers can shop on both sides, because with a vendor event you usually have like a 10-foot by 10-foot area, and it's really hard to set everything up with double racks. So I wish that I had gone with single racks. Eventually I will end up replacing my racks. It's just not a huge priority for me right now. And then the last thing, number 10, that I wish I had known, and actually I did know this, but I feel like maybe not everyone has thought of it, and I wanted to share it with you in case you haven't thought of it. This business requires a lot of independence. Yes, you're going to have training and support available to you, and hopefully you choose a referring rep who's going to offer you a lot of training and support, but it's up to you to find that training and to use it. So some of the trainings are going to be done, they're already going to be loaded into the Facebook group before you even onboarded. Maybe it's a training that your referring rep did 6 months before you onboarded. It still should be your responsibility to go and find that, and hopefully they have it available on the Facebook group in a way that's easy for you to find. I've noticed a lot of ladies will sometimes not realize that would be a good thing to do, or maybe they don't realize that training is there. So I have literally watched every single training, and I have read every single training file that is available to me, both through my team and through corporate, and it has really benefited me in huge ways. And there are a couple of them that I've even gone back and watched like 2 or 3 times, and I cannot stress to you enough how important that's going to be. Even if the title looks like something that's not going to be, you know, anything groundbreaking, you never know when there's going to be a little nugget of wisdom in one of those trainings, either from the person who's recording the training, or maybe if it was a live, there might be like a comment that somebody posted that makes you think, oh yeah, that's a good idea, or oh yeah, that's a good point, I didn't think of it that way. You know, get all of that wisdom. It's a treasure trove of probably many multiple different people who are taking their time and their energy to put these trainings together for you, and many of them are timeless. There are some aspects of this company and of this business that kind of evolve over time. Many of the basic strategies and wisdom and how-tos, like tutorials on how to do shipping and how to send invoices, all of that is pretty much going to remain the same. So go ahead and dive right in as soon as you have access to that stuff in your Referring Reps group. Dive in and take advantage of it all, and you're definitely not going to regret that. I hope that this has been helpful to you. These were the top 10 things that I wish I had known when I was in the research and waiting stages of my Agnes Dora business. If you want to get in touch with me for anything, I will have all of my contact information available in the description of this video. And if you're a customer watching this, I would love to have you join my Facebook group, and I will have that available in the description as well. Thanks so much, guys. I'll see you next time.